countries, but those are privately contracted militias members, ones that'll, do the dirty work. Oh, you armed this country, and all of a sudden they're fighting back against you. Okay, we'll go ahead and run in there and take care of that because they're killing innocent civilians. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
send in, see, you don't play video games, so I remember a game back in the day I used to play. It was called Army of Two. And with two players, you'd go in and you'd take out endless amounts of enemies. And this could actually happen if you had two guys trained with the proper armor and the proper weaponry, to go in and take out 50, 80, 100 guys. Come on. It's true.
Yes, yes, indeed. Um, Let me see here. What's today's the 12th of 13th of October.
Month of the
Um,
pumpkin.
this is a report from yesterday. An Iraqi senior government official claimed that up to 10,000 Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, that's the acronym ISIS stands for, are on the outskirts of Baghdad ready to attack the capital city. As Iraqi officials continue to urge the United States to deploy ground troops into the war-stricken country, a roadside bomb killed the police chief of Iraq's battleground province of Anbar on Sunday. So again, the Iraqi officials are urging us to deploy our ground troops to help fight this scourge, this menace. Uh,
Yeah, but the Iraqi army is just handing over their weapons, or more or less joining the ISIL army. So when these guys aren't even fighting for their families anymore, what's the fucking point of wasting time even caring? Turn it into a
well,
parking lot. Fuck it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, they're going to folks, and it's you either join them, you give them some gold, or you die. That's your choices.
See, it really that's just why will some humans not stand up for themselves? I have to ask that question. That was kind
Yeah,
of racist,
I
wasn't it?
don't
I'm
know,
sorry.
and that's a very tough question to answer because essentially these when the ISIS started rolling in with an inferior number of forces, essentially the Iraqi forces that we spent all that money and time training laid down their weapons and essentially many of them were still killed, put in a pit and killed, and
They
it's
are.
I just don't get how a person I just don't get how you can live on your knees like that, man. I just couldn't do it. It's anti-American. It's against what we stand for here. But I guess we can't sort of export our values and what we believe in here to other places in the world. Obviously,
We've tried one too many times to find out that the
absolutely.
same thing happens again. But I'm a firm believer that a lot of this may be manufactured terror. And you know what I mean by that, right?
Yeah, you could be right about that. I don't know.
Because
This is
you got to admit that there has been a lot of accusation in the last. Let's even go back to the '60s. Fuck it, Gulf of Tonkin. Um,
yes.
how much accusations there has been, or documents that have been released that say this was manufactured.
It absolutely was.
And when you
And
look
that
at it,
and that and that manufactured incident they used as a basis to increase the number of troops that we sent over to Vietnam and the escalation of that war over a
manufactured.
bullshit over a bullshit incident. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So
So it really does. It really does come down to a lot of, and see, that's why I'm kind of against foreign policy at the moment. I think we should just retract everything, bring them all back home, put all of our technology, and close off our fucking borders, and work on what we got wrong here, and get our cog rolling here correctly before, because you got to get the GMOs out of there. You got to get a lot of these unhealthy food joints out of the place. We got to get our nation, healthy and awake again, and we need to, have an economy that produces, something for ourselves. And working with the technology that we're working with today, running the same engine for the last 100 years, It's getting old, man. It's getting old. We need new technology to at least be released, from the grasp of our tyrannical government. Because there are better ways than gasoline. You know there are, right?
Yeah, well, we gotta, our natural gas. Uh, natural gas. We could convert all the vehicles over to a cleaner burning natural gas, and we have reserves of natural gas right in our country that could sustain us for a long, long time.
And
And
they
I,
and they
I don't know that
refuse.
much about engines, but apparently it's not that difficult a thing or a transition from fossil fuels to natural gas.
It's not. It's just changing the temperature seals that pretty much keep the engine alive and moving.
Hmm.
Um, it's basically like the same. Well, it's basically like saying, we've already got the square peg and the square hole, but now we're gonna, instead of it being rounded off, now we're gonna make it an exact fit. But see, I don't like the natural gas element of it. I think that's it's a good call, but it's still a non-renewable resource.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
True.
we've learned that may it not be forever, but hydrogen and oxygen, when it comes together, causes water. It creates water. And then, of
Right.
course, the other fuel source that's just inevitable to take over every fucking last corner of the market, the hemp industry.
Yes, I think in many regards, we need to. In many ways, it was a much bigger back in the days of our forefathers. Man, that was a very important product, the hemp, and I think it has many uses across a variety of uses of hemp and so forth. So,
Well,
but
if you
it's like the can you explain to me why is it that where they're complaining over there at OPEC that the price of oil is going down and so forth and so on.
it
But
is here, yeah, it has here by almost a whole dollar.
yeah, it's under $3 a gallon some places.
It's two
But
eighty
how can
two.
how can that be happening? Wasn't whenever there was situations, there's all kinds of craziness going on in that part of the world with a lot of those oil producing countries. Um, how is it now that the price is dropping, whereas in the past it's always gone up? And they've used that as the premise of raising the prices because of instability in many of the countries that produce oil to folks around the world. I don't know what's up with that.
Let me put it to you like this, and this is the only way that I know I can explain it. And Bastard FC's got a few good points that he's poking into the chat over here at Truth Porn Militia. And it's all politics, chess game with human lives. But and that was, but like he says here, oil prices are manipulated, it's dropping to hurt Russia. But let's get real here, okay? You know what hyperinflation is, right?
Yeah,
So when hyperinflation happens, the money goes from a set amount of what it's worth to an
right.
extreme proportion where you need lots of money, cash money, just to buy something small
Yeah,
like a loaf of bread.
$25 for a loaf of bread or something.
Well, it could get even worse than that. It could go up to 3,000 a loaf. But let's
Right.
just put it in terms here. Usually, what happens before a fiat currency crash is that they print up so much of it that it's basically there's too much out there, and then it comes down to the last fact where you have to look at prices drop before they skyrocket.
Right.
So it really ends up being a game. And when the banks regulate themselves in this country and in all countries now, it's kind of hard to know what's real and what's not. So you
Yeah.
you can see
Like,
how it's a twisted, turning, real narrow road that you can't figure out sometimes. That's why there was that video I did. I believe it was 2 weeks ago, where it says, people when they first come up in high school, they're learned not to ask questions about why things are. Like, why do I get an overdraft fee because someone, my paycheck bounced in the, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
Or why is it that I have to pay so much? Well, it's basic economics. I mean, and it's confusing because they want you to be confused by it, but it's not confusing at all. We've got a privately owned bank, and it regulates itself, and it's not just here; it's all across the globe. So you can see how this all gets right back into that whole crazy stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of truth to that, no doubt about it. No doubt a doubt it. But so again, this whole situation with ISIS and and to like you were saying, you'd like to come back and kind of build a wall around the country, pretty much, and kind of just take care of what's happening over here. But what do you do if this ISIS, they take over Iraq? Next, they move over to Iran. Then they go to Saudi Arabia. Then they go, to Pakistan and Afghanistan. Uh, you know, what do we do? What do we do? Just let them roll across Europe, taking over different places?
Do you really think that they're just going to go take over a whole bunch of shit?
That's their goal, man.
Yeah, but these guys are basically just, extremists with a cause. And what do they have to gain from going into all these other countries? Because Iran will defend itself. Give me a break. They got Chinese hanging over their heads. So
yeah,
you don't have to worry about Iran getting taken over. But I can understand, like Pakistan and all them. So they unify all those countries. So what? I mean, I know that they're murdering lots of fucking, women and children because they're dogs. Or they're literal pigs. And the only reason I say that is because they really believe that running with a bomb on their chest to blow up a bus full of innocent people, that's going to get them into a heaven with 77 virgins or whatever it is. And
yeah,
to me, I'm like, yeah, you're a disgusting faggot anyway. So, other than figuring out who these nut jobs are, it's hard to, like I said, this little blue ball in the middle of nowhere in the galaxy here has definitely got a bunch of crazy ass motherfuckers on it. And wait, I have to say hello to PD. She's listening in now too. Welcome, PD.
Hello, PD.
Yeah, we only got a few minutes left of the broadcast here. We've been chatting it up about everything. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, build a wall, stop people from coming in and out, fix our economy. And I meant like create our economy here so we grow our own food, we sustain ourselves as a country first. We educate our children first,
Right.
Even, at this point, everybody that's here, fuck it. But we got to work on ourselves first. And the first thing that's got to go is this corrupt bank system. You got to admit, the bank is corrupt. Every last one of them.
Yeah.
This dead air has been brought to you in part by The Godfather, thinking very carefully about what he's going to say about his debit card.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just reading some information about from the Saudi foreign minister. Just reading some stuff here. Talking about ISIS. But anyway, yeah, there are many problems, here domestically and around the globe right now, man. It's I don't know. It's a crazy world we're living in right now, my friend.
For Pete's sakes, put down Christopher Reeve's legs.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been a great show today, man. I've enjoyed the time with you, man. I miss doing this. I really do. I've said it a bunch of times today, but I figure, hey.
Yeah, I just got to get a little more rest. I took me a while to get going this morning, and we had a few technical situations with my Skype, but I while we've been talking here, I've reloaded my Skype onto the PC. So moving forward, I hope the clarity and the quality will be improved moving forward here on The Teacher and the Creature, streaming live on WEJA Radio and the Truth Porn Militia, coming to you live every Monday morning moving forward. Right around 8 Central Time, 9 Eastern Time. and that's like 3 in the afternoon over there in the UK and beyond. So I look forward to joining you each